All right, looking ahead to the weekend, on Sunday, nearly 40 years after he was assassinated while saying Mass, Salvadoran Archbishop Oscar Romero will be canonized by the Vatican. Archbishop Romero constantly spoke against the violence that was tearing his native El Salvador apart in the 1970s. His radio broadcast demanding social justice reached hundreds of thousands of people, but his words also angered the country's military rulers. NPR's Danny Hajek is with me. He's one of our producers at Morning Edition, and he's been reporting on Romero. Good morning, Danny.
Hey, Noel.
What did you learn about Oscar Romero?
Well, he was a fighter for justice, and they called him the voice of the voiceless. This was a time when El Salvador's military regime, which was supported by the United States, killed, kidnapped, and tortured civilians, many of them the poorest in society. And so Romero ran this commission that investigated human rights abuses. And every Sunday during Mass, he named victims of murder and the countless who disappeared. And it was incredibly dangerous for him to do that. And his homilies were broadcast on the radio, and they became sort of like newscasts for the poor. I talked with Franciscan brother Octavio Duran, and he used to work at the Catholic radio station in San Salvador.
Everybody was listening, including his enemies.
And he had many enemies.
Who were they?
El Salvador's oligarchy, the military. They were threatened by Romero because he openly talked about these injustices, and he empowered the poor to do something about it. And he died for that. In March of 1980, while he was saying Mass at this little hospital chapel in San Salvador, he was shot at the altar by a gunman from a right-wing death squad.
Why did it take almost 40 years for Romero to be canonized?
Well, Romero's always been controversial, especially within the Catholic Church. He supported the poor. He was critical of the government, so he was accused of being a communist, which he was not. But his cause for sainthood was stalled by the Vatican for years because of that. Vatican officials said he was too aligned with a theology that promoted the cause for social justice, but Pope Francis finally changed that. And this is huge for El Salvador. It's a country with one of the highest murder rates in the world. So Oscar Romero's words are just as relevant now as they were 38 years ago.
A fascinating man and some fascinating reporting. NPR's Danny Hajek. Danny, thanks so much.
Thank you.